Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Shubham Kumar. I was a fixed income derivatives trader and I'm starting this channel to discuss macro and markets. In today's video, we are going to talk about gold, not from the immediate trading or pricing perspective, but from a more structural and fundamental lens. We'll ask a very simple question. Can gold rise forever? Is there a price ceiling to gold? And we'll take a look at 50-year-old history to have that discussion. So in today's video, we'll quickly cover what leads to the appreciation of gold's price, what is the historical precedence of gold's appreciation, and what is the one parameter that caps the gold pricing as per me. And in terms of that parameter, where are we today? Before we proceed, the standard disclaimer, this video is for education and information purpose only. It should not be considered as a financial advice, investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell. Please do your own independent research or consult your financial advisor before taking those calls. So what's happening in gold? Since the start of 2023, gold has risen from $1,600 per ounce to around $5,600 per ounce, which was the January's high. So essentially it has 3.3x in around 3 years. This type of CAGR is very unprecedented for gold. Gold as an asset class does not rise so fast. So what exactly triggered this rise? If you go back to 2022, what happened is that the US and Western nations essentially confiscated Russia's forex reserves. The forex reserves were mainly in US dollar and euro, and this the world perceived as weaponization of fiat currency and was not taken well, which led to the money moving from fiat currencies to gold and fueling this unprecedented rise. Now let's just quickly cover why does gold rise. So gold rises whenever there's a loss of confidence in the fiat currencies, and we'll specifically talk about US over here because US dollar is the world's reserve currency. So whenever falling happens to US, the gold keeps on rising. The number one being falling real interest rates. Now real interest rate means the Fed's interest rate minus inflation going on in the US. For example, if the interest rates are at 3% and inflation is at 2%, so the real interest rate is 1%, which is okay. But if the interest rates are at 3% and inflation is at 8%, so real interest rate will be minus 5%, which will not be appreciated by gold. In such a scenario, the gold will keep on rising. And it doesn't have to be a negative territory always. If the real interest rates are falling, for example, it's coming down from 1.5 to 1 to 0.5 to 0, in such scenario as well, gold will keep on rising. The second is currency debasement. Whenever the purchasing power of US dollar is eroded by excessive printing of money, gold continues to rise. The third is geopolitical instability. For example, wars, sanctions, what's going on around us, the Russia-Ukraine war, the fear of war between US and Iran. So such scenarios, they fuel the rise of gold. The fourth is central bank gold buying. So central bankers store a basket of forex reserves, and gold is one of the forex reserves. So whenever central banks feel that there's a risk in the geopolitics of the world, they shift from hoarding other currencies to hoarding of gold. And in such scenario, there's a structural demand that comes in gold. And now we'll cover the episodes of gold appreciation in the past. So in the past 50 years, this chart is from 1960s to the January of 2026, and we can see that there are 3 episodes where gold has risen very steeply. The first being essentially from 1970 to 1980. So in this 10-year period, gold went up very steep. The second was from 2001 to 2011, and the third episode, we are currently in the third episode, where the gold has started rising very steeply from the end of 2022 and start of 2023, which we discussed previously. So in the first leg between 1970 and 1980, there was a 24x increase in gold prices over 10 years. So that was a CAGR of 38%. And in the second episode between 2000 and 2011, there was a 6.5x increase in gold prices, 22% CAGR over 10 years. And the current leg, which is going on, in 3 years, we have seen a 2.5x increase in gold prices, which is 36% CAGR, very similar to 1970 to 1980 CAGR, which was unprecedented. So yeah, these are really steep CAGRs that we are seeing in gold right now. And now we'll cover what exactly happened in 1970 to 1980, which resulted in that 36% CAGR over a span of 10 years for an asset class like gold. So first of all, during 1960s, there was something called Bretton Woods Agreement, which bottled the gold prices. So gold was pegged at $35 per ounce against the dollar for decades now. And this led to artificial suppression of gold. And central banks used to sell their gold to maintain the prices at this level. But something happened in 1968. London Central Bank completely ran out of gold pool to keep the gold at $35 per ounce. And other central banks also faced the same issue. So in 1971, President Nixon terminated the Bretton Woods Agreement. US dollar was no longer pegged to gold, and US essentially had a free run to print as much money as they want without backing it with gold. The world did not take this news very well. And again in 1973, there was the first oil shock. So essentially US was arming Israel in the Middle East, and OPEC, which is essentially the body of countries which produce petroleum, they enforced an embargo upon USA, which led to oil spiking up 4x in a span of 1 year. And because of this, inflation in US increased to 10% plus. For comparison, today the inflation in US is 3%. So at that time, within a year, the inflation went to 10% plus. Again, in 1977 to 1978, there was a dollar crisis. US dollar collapsed versus Japanese yen and other currencies. And again, the world fled to gold, that US is no longer a very credible reserve asset. Following that, in 1979, there was a second oil shock, which was Iran. So there was a regime change in Iran, Shah was ousted, and the world's oil supply was severely disrupted. So this again led to oil increasing from $15 to $40 per barrel within a span of 1 year. And after that, to contain the situation, Volcker finally stepped in and he increased the interbank offered rates to 20%. The US federal bank rates today are around 3.5%, 4%. But in that year, 1980, 1982, he spiked the interest rates between the banks to 20%, and which led to controlling of the gold prices. So the 1970 to 1980 era was that bad. The oil shocks that I have listed over here were so terrible that in India there were days where there was no petroleum available for the civilian usage. And not just India, other countries as well faced completely running out of petroleum. So these oil shocks were that bad. Now, in that era also, because the gold prices were completely rising, so there is one parameter which was getting impacted by that, which is the basket of forex reserves. So before we step into this slide, I'll quickly explain what is the basket of foreign reserves. So every country maintains a collection of currencies. For example, India will have couple of $100 billion in US dollar, couple of $1 billion in euro, couple of $1 billion in Japanese yen, and some amount in gold. And together this will form the forex basket for India. So gold as a percentage of this foreign basket is one key parameter that we all need to track, because that determines how high can gold rise. Because if gold keeps on rising, the share of gold in these forex basket will keep on rising and may cross a threshold which India or any other country would want to tolerate. And in that scenario, central banks will come in and start selling gold to control the gold prices. So in front of you is the chart of the gold as a percentage of the forex reserves. As you can see, the yellow line, that is the gold's percentage. The blue line is the US dollar percentage. And in 1980, around 1980, which we had discussed, that a decade of 36% CAGR, the gold's share to forex reserves touched an all-time high of around 70%. And then they continuously kept on falling. They came down to around 12% in 2008. And from 2018-19 onward, they have again been constantly increasing, and as of Jan 26, they are at 38%. So 65 to 70% in 1980, when the situation was so terrible in terms of geopolitics, macroeconomics, to a low of 2008 when the world was very complacent and US dollar was very strong, to again a new high of 38% in Jan 2026. So now we have to, if we have to answer how high can gold rise from here, we have to essentially compare today's era versus the era of 1970 and 1980. So what has changed and how do we compare against that era? So first of all, the inflation in US. Inflation in US at that time was double digits. Like I said, it had crossed 10% for continuously a couple of years. But today the inflation in the US is around 3%. US dollar credibility had a major shock post Bretton Woods. When the Bretton Woods agreement was nullified, so it had a major shock. Today, the US dollar is very dominant. There is no second currency that is close to the dominance of US dollar. Everything trades in the dollar. All the commodities, all the global trade happens in terms of dollar. So it's very dominant, but now it has been weaponized. So this is what has changed. But it's nowhere close to the loss of credibility which US dollar had in 1970 to 1980. Now coming to the real interest rate. If you remember, we discussed that real interest rates are the interest rates minus the inflation rate. So in 1970s, they were persistently negative. But today, they are mostly positive. Wars. USA was fighting direct wars at that time. For example, the Vietnam War, the involvement in the Middle East, standoff, a Cold War against Russia, the standoff in Cuban Missile Crisis, the standoff in Afghanistan. So US was fighting direct wars. Today, US has retracted and they are fighting proxy wars. So while there are wars between Russia and Ukraine, there's a fear of war between Israel and Iran, but they are not direct wars for the US. Oil. Oil had severe shocks in 1970s and 1980s, like we discussed. There were two major oil shocks. But today, the oil supply is largely uninterrupted, although there are emerging risks that tomorrow if USA invades Iran, for example, that will disrupt the oil supply, but it's nowhere close to what oil shocks the world saw in 1970 and 1980. The supply is much more resilient now. And we'll also discuss the reality of consumer central bank buying. So today we read a lot of headlines that India is accumulating gold, other countries are accumulating gold, but how much exactly are they buying? So collectively I have listed down that in 2022, all the central banks put together bought around 1080 tons of gold. In 2023, 1050 tons of gold. In 2024, again 1050. In 2025, 900 tons of gold. So while you can say that they are buying gold every year, but the rate of buying gold is not accelerating. And if you read below the headlines, so you can see that RBI bought only 4 tons of gold in the calendar year of 2025. So while you might read a lot of headlines that India is hoarding gold, accumulating gold, continuously buying gold, but the amount is 4 tons. Annually mined gold is 3500 tons. The consumption of gold in India's jewelry is 800 tons per annum. So against that, these numbers are not off the charts. So what about the bottom line? So bottom line today is that USA is unchallenged. Especially what they have done in Venezuela, that they simply abducted the president of a country despite direct Russian and Chinese influence in that country and just walked away. What they have done in Pakistan, that they have completely walked in and pushed China out of Pakistan and taken control of Pakistan. US is leading the world in cutting edge technology like AI, semiconductor design, etc. So USA is unchallenged in terms of military might, in terms of their innovation, in terms of their financial might, but USA debt today is at concerning levels. It's at the highest level and it's growing every day. So it's at a concerning level. It is weaponizing dollar. Its foreign and tariff policy lately have been very volatile. Like if you have been following news, so tariffs are imposed at the whims and fancies at any point of time. So this has created some uncertainty in the markets, which has led to the rise in gold prices, which we are seeing today. But we have discussed in the previous slide that today we are nowhere close to the shocks and the geopolitical risks that the world saw in 1970 to 1980. So if we have to discuss the structural price of gold, we obviously have to see what will be the gold as a percentage of the forex reserve assets for all the countries put together. So there are three scenarios. The first is, can gold touch the share which gold had in 1980s, which was around 70%. So if gold has to touch 70% share, the gold price today has to be $10,000 per ounce, which is double 100% appreciation from the prices today. Is this likely? To my understanding, that's not likely, because the type of geopolitical risks today are nothing as compared to what we had in 1970 to 1980. And if we have to believe that, so $10,000 is the extreme bull case scenario, and that sort of is the price cap which gold has. Will the share of forex will the share of gold in the forex go back to the low of 2008, which is 20%? For that to happen, the gold has to go to $3,000 per oz, which means it is 40% decline from the prices today, which is around $4,900. So that is the extreme bear case. I don't think that's going to happen, because in 2008 the USA was much more dominant, the dollar was much more stronger, and today you have some amount of competition to the US from China, from Russia, and also the volatile tariff policy. So gold, I don't think, is going back to 20% share of reserves. And so I say that $3,000 is the lower bound for extreme bear case for gold. What I feel, that gold will stabilize somewhere between 30 to 40% as a share of the forex basket. And for it to do that, the price has to hover between $4,200 to $6,000, which means minus 20% to plus 20% from here. So that, according to me, is the base case. So we have to note one thing, that forex reserves keep on increasing every year. It's not like forex reserves are constant. So countries keep on printing currencies, countries keep on holding currencies, and forex reserves increase by 2 to 3% every year in the dollar terms. So gold will stabilize around these points, and then as the currency forex reserves increase, gold will keep on increasing along with that. So yeah, to summarize, I believe that we are closer to top than we would think. I believe that it's very difficult for gold to give a 100% return from here in the next 1 or 2 years, or to fall down to $3,000 in the next 1 or 2 years. Will somewhere stay range bound and then keep on rising as the forex reserves continue to rise. Thank you. That's all for today. See you again next time very soon.